Your favorite woman hero and why?
The Martha Lane Collins, and I think as a kid, I remember the way that she could interact with people. She made everybody feel important, and she was able to be gracious, but also very, very strong and successful, and obviously in her political ambitions, and rose all the way to governor. And I think she's been a great example for women and for my children. But I think that she was always remembered. She remembered her base and remembered individual people, and I liked the way she made you feel important. And I think that it's important for all people, not just women. But I think that personal relationship really kind of puts her on a pedestal for me.
Mm-hmm. And then before college, what career did you have in mind?
I guess when I was maybe 8th or ninth grade, I had decided I wanted to be a lawyer, and had also enjoyed politics. My grandfather had served in the House for 23 years, and I had kind of had a little bit of the bug of public service. So I had always envisioned being a lawyer, and maybe also doing some kind of public service, whether or not I had not made up my mind to actually ever be elected to office, but knew I wanted to be involved.
And then did you feel confident in your academic college career? What obstacles or situations did you experience?
I was a wild child. I partied hard. And I think that I spent the next 3.5 years making up for where some of the mistakes I made my first half year of college. But, that's part of I wouldn't change anything. That's part of the learning experience. I figured out what I wanted to do. I got involved. I think I may have overextended myself a little bit. I was lucky enough to get some scholarships, but also had to work a lot. So I think that was the obstacles. I had a very small one-bedroom condo, and trouble making sure I paid the bills, and the same type of, trials and tribulations that a lot of college students have.
And what ratio of males to females were in your college courses? Did you feel like both genders were equally represented in the classes that you took?
I was a political science major, and I think that maybe there wasn't as many females in some of the political science classes as I did. I like communication classes, which I think were probably more females than males, at least at that time. And so I guess it really depended on the classes in which that I was enrolled in. When I got to college, after I finished college, I went to law school. I think we actually had, it was almost even, which was, I thought it was impressive. I think in the legal profession that we're having more and more women go to law school.
How do you think your professors would have answered this question? What do you think about Mr. Yates?
I guess it depends on which professor and what year that you would ask. I think that it's always been, I think I've always had a servant's heart, and I think most people would know that from all the way from college through law school. I can be very argumentative, and I think most of my professors all the way through school would definitely probably underline that. But I think that's important. I think that people need to, especially if you're going to have educated arguments, that you should debate. I think that's the way truth is found, to opposing views and even through conflict. And so I've never backed down from that. I think that obviously I was lucky enough to have some very intelligent professors. I lost a lot of arguments, but I think I learned from those.
Did you have any female professors?
Yes. Throughout. Obviously from undergrad through law school. I had lots of them. And, in fact, a couple before I went to Holy Cross High School, and there was one particular teacher that female that always stood out and was important in my educational life.
How would you describe your journey to your current position and profession right now?
My journey. law practice, and we deal primarily in personal injury, and we try cases, and being president of the Louisville Metro Council. At the same time, I'm raising two little girls. I think being a single dad, my girls are my number one priority. After that, I like to be able to make sure that I'm making the world a little bit better place without sounding too sappy. I like to try at the end of the day to make a difference. I like to win. I'm very competitive. I think that's what drives me in my litigation. Right now, we're working on an appeal that some other attorney said that it was impossible to win. I think we're gonna win it anyway. I like challenges. I do that in my professional capacity as a lawyer, but also as president of the Metro Council. I'm the youngest elected official on the Metro Council. It's the youngest to ever be elected to the Metro Council. Definitely the youngest president. This is my second term as president. I think I'm the only one, except for President Jim King, to ever have two consecutive terms.
Yeah.
And so I like to exceed expectations. I like to challenge myself. In the day, I got to feel like I'm doing it for the right reasons.
Did you receive help while on your journey to your present position by anyone such as a mentor or a parent or a counselor or anyone like that?
I wouldn't be where I am at all without lots and lots of help. It goes back to Holy Cross High School. My principal was Kevin Brever at the time, and many times he yanked me up, set me down in his office when he could have maybe even expelled me for things, and let me know that I had way too much talent, and he wasn't going to let me waste it. I think that was part of that Catholic education, one-on-one, that made sure that I stayed focused on what I needed to do. At U of L, I think on scholarships and things, but before having scholarships, I may have taken a job somewhere else and done something else. Congressman Ron Mazzoli was teaching in the law school at the time. I had known him through relationship with my grandfather, and I used to go sit in his office. And he would he would speak to me, and almost like a friend. I had idolized him in so many ways, and I think that he was a very good role model for me to see as a young man. I got a scholarship to law school, and if it wasn't for the scholarship program, I wouldn't have went. I needed to work, and so I think that helped. I got a job as a Commonwealth attorney for Boone County. Linda Talley Smith, she let me work full time so I could have insurance, even though it was probably not frowned upon for people on scholarship, and taught me how to litigate. At the AG's office, Greg Stumbo was the Attorney General. I was the second youngest assistant AG that we could find in history. He brought me in, took a chance on me, and taught me how to litigate. I worked my way and argued in the Court of Appeals, Supreme Court. I think at every level, you have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody who takes the time to show you, and be patient, or you don't make it. Running for office, when I decided to go ahead and put my name out there, it was overwhelming. The amount of friends and family that stepped up to make sure I won, that knocked on doors, asked people to vote for me, weekends, nights. So yes, in the day, again, I'll always kept my faith, and I think I believe in God's will, and at the end of the day, I definitely know that there has been a higher power pushing me to do things that I need to do.
And are you confident in the job you have now? Do you feel like there is fair treatment between you and the opposite sex in your current career?
Well, when I go ahead, in my trial practice, the system is set up mostly, I do civil. I believe that it shouldn't be based at all on sex or gender or anything else. I think it's all about skill level. And so we litigate in my office. Women who work here, I look at no different than a male counterpart. And I think that's how I operate. Wouldn't see things any different. And I think the same way goes for being elected office. The women that are elected to the Metro Council are elected by their constituent base, just like I am. They come in with the same powers, skills, and abilities, and we all have our own talents. But they are represented their constituent base to the best of ability, and they have an equal voice.
What are some of your future plans and goals in life?
I don't know. I mean, I like to continue to win.
Mm-hmm.
I like to represent my client to the best of my ability. I don't think I have an excellent associate attorney who happened to sit next to me who's continue to work through this. I got great paralegals and runners, and I don't know how much we want to grow. We just want to continue to do well by our clients and win. I think that as far as my public service, I don't know. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I think president of the city council is rewarding because I get to represent my home district and also my city. And it gives me enough time where I can still have my law practice and be a father to two little girls. So as far as the future, I don't know. God willing, I'll continue to do some kind of public service.
And then, do you have any advice to your high school self and to other young adults?
I don't know if there's to my high school self. I don't have a whole lot of regret. I think the mistakes I made, I learned from. I think that I would tell a lot of young adults that don't take yourself too serious. Make sure that you're enjoying study yourself, having fun, make a plan, get a 1-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, and try to make sure you stay on track. But at the same time, live your life, figure out who you are and what you want to do. And stay out of legal trouble. Don't post things on social media that's going to come back and bite you.
Yeah.
For the young people today, it happens all the time, especially when I'm interviewing people that come in, even young attorneys. I'll do a few sophisticated searches, and I'll find things from 4 or 5 years ago, and I'll think there's no way that I'm putting it in the office. They may be very different now, but I have to worry about my reputation. And so I would definitely recommend that be very, very careful of whatever they put out there. But also make some memories, do some positive things, make some mistakes. Learn from them.
And then, according to Merriam-Webster, feminism is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. Do you agree with his definition? Why or why not?
Do I believe that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities?
Yes, or do you think that's the correct definition for that word? Would you word it any differently?
I don't know if I would try to reword the definition of feminism, but I do believe very much that women should have equal rights, and we need to make sure. I think it's the duty of all people that we give people the opportunities to pursue whatever career or happiness they're looking for. And that, again, I think opportunity is the key word. And I'm raising 2 little girls. I've seen the glass ceiling. I know it exists out there. I'm hoping with the new generation of people who are educated and with the digital interaction, I'm hoping that we can continue to shatter that. I'm hoping that the gender gap that we're seeing in political ambition is beginning to shrink. So I think that we need to make sure we're active, that we're outspoken, and that we do make sure we protect not only women's rights and their opportunities, but also make sure that we demand respect for all people.
Do you consider yourself a feminist?
Yes, I guess. I've never actually used that term or called myself a feminist, but I think I'm outspoken for individual rights, including that of women and gender, and definitely for opportunities. I think that my record would show that I continue to fight for this.
Do you feel like the representation of women in government is particularly low in the U.S.? Why or why not? And do you know what percentage of women make up U.S. politics?
Well, I think that women are a little more than half the population, and I know that there's definitely a lot less representative in political office. I know that nationwide it is lower. I'm hoping it's beginning to shrink. And so we want to make sure we provide those opportunities. But one thing I do when I speak to groups or women or anything else, I think that we want to make sure that we're getting women into politics. We want to make sure people are running for office. But
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a natural progression that will follow that women will run for office and will win. I think that really, if there's not, I think women bring a different perspective sometimes to politics. That diversity is needed. I think it's better representative for our city, for our state, and for our country.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, I think hopefully things are improving, but it's up to us to make sure it continues to improve.
Mm-hmm. In what ways do you think society can better motivate women and girls to actively participate in leadership roles in our society?
Well, I think it's society as a whole. We're very polarizing society. I think sometimes people think you're crazy if you run for political office because the hate that goes back and forth. I think a little more stability would work. I think an open discussion. I think additional education just on the political system, what is going on is needed, especially when you get into high school. The level of ignorance of new voters as far as on the issues, things is almost sad. And I think if people in general are better educated, including that women, I think everyone has the advantage.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, if this was your project and you had to create an art piece that represents women in government, how do you think you would best represent that?
If I had to create an art piece, I don't know. I think I would, off my mind, as a former artist, I think I would use maybe a big collage of all the different faces of women and leaders to form together to put maybe the Statue of Liberty coming together.
All right, and
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of off the cuff. That would seem like that might be an artistic.
no, it's okay. It's good. And then that was all the questions I had for you. I just want